Greetings, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. Last time we made it to Orzammar and uncovered a whole bunch of information about their civil war and their society and whatnot. And now we're going to head up on into the Diamond Quarter and see what we can do about resolving this. So far it seems like we're going to have to find Branca because everyone seems to be looking for her. And she can settle who the new king will be. And until they have a new king, I don't think they're going to help us with the Darkspawn. That is not acceptable.
The social strata quickly makes itself evident no matter where one goes.
It's true.
You have come at a difficult time. Orzammar is ailing for want of a king.
Yeah, it's, I mean, even on the surface, you have the mages and the elves, and they're a different class.
Could the end of Orzammar be nigh? Turn to Lord Harrowmont and assure the future of dwarven society.
You got propaganda going down here.
No offense, but I've often wondered how you people get by with your awkwardly long limbs.
Awkwardly long? Lady. Have you looked at yourself? You're out of proportion. Nah, I'm just kidding. I know what she means. Lady Dace. You've got a yellow name, so...
This has dragged on too long. It's an insult to King Endrin's memory.
Well, you have nothing to say yet, really. Wall carving? Yay.
I hope you'll support Lord Harrowmont.
Why would you care who I support?
A new offensive is required against the Darkspawn, says Lord Balin.
You know, after all this is over, I wouldn't mind getting a job here. I could sing, tell stories, help the king get items from high shelves.
Liliana.
Even I could shatter from this height, surely.
Yeah, we're up pretty high. You can see the proving down below. And, why is it that dwarven fortresses always has lava in them? Lava's hot. And it smells terrible. Look, there's just a pool of lava hanging. Like, if you were this close to the lava, molten... Let me get this... Let me, you know, make sure this is understood. This is molten rock. It's hot. You don't just hang out next to lava like it's a fountain. It's pretty funny, though. A lot of fantasy settings do that. And, you know, whatever. You can... It does look cool, but... Doesn't anyone notice that, like, hey, there's a big pool of lava next to me? Alright, let's head into the Shaperate. And see what we can do for these folks. Shaperate Assistant Mildred.
Who would dare take from the memories? Orden, I'm outraged. A thief in the Shaperate. What have we been reduced to?
Did you get a good look at him?
I did. He was bald, with the most garish brand across his head. Almost like he took pride in being castless. Imagine. He's probably in the slums somewhere. As if he'd find a buyer for a stolen tome in Dust Town. They couldn't know the value.
Well, you know, if the only thing you can be proud of is the fact that you're from Dust Town, then people are going to be proud of it. That's your own fault,
I'm
guys.
quite busy. Please do not disturb me.
Yeah, didn't want to disturb you anyway. Orta.
Oh, pardon me. Were you looking for a particular volume? Not that I could really help. I, don't know the libraries very well. I'm just doing some research.
What kind of research?
I was looking for something about the Orton Tig. It was lost during the last Blight, and there aren't many records left. They were a noble house once, descended from the Paragon Orton, who composed the grand epic of the Seven Brothers and the Ortonic Symphony. My mother's family believes they were descended from Kalana Orton, who was training in Orzammar when the Tig fell. I'm even named for the house, Orta. Unfortunately, any records would be buried in the Tig's ruins, somewhere in the deep roads.
I could try to find them.
You're from the surface. What do you know about fighting Darkspawn?
Whoa, don't go.
There aren't even any
pissy.
expeditions planned until they settle this election. Otherwise, you need special permission from the Assembly or some great lord.
I am a Grey Warden.
A Grey Warden? Mother always said that if anyone could find the Tig, it was the Wardens. I hear Prince Balin and Lord Harrowmont have both been sending out small teams these days. Yes, if you can find the Tig in any records, that could do it. That could prove I'm a noble. If you could. Maybe now that you're looking. It's almost too much to hope.
Alright, well, I'm all for side quests, and I always need money. Shaperate Scribe, Shaperate Scribe, Shaper.
When I last walked this hall, Endrin was king and Orzammar was at peace. The memories often speak of the swiftness with which change overtakes us. But it is different to see it firsthand. I apologize, Warden. I should not burden a stranger with such thoughts. I am Zebor, the Shaper of Memories.
How do you know who I am?
The Grey Warden's visit has been recorded in the memories, along with all who accompany you.
Let's talk about Orzammar, Lord Shaper.
Ask, and I shall do my best to answer.
What's the difference between an ancestor and a paragon?
All dwarves who die return to the stone as ancestors, to guide their families forever. But only one every few generations rises to paragon. A paragon is a dwarf whose accomplishments change Orzammar so much that the Assembly recognizes they've been born blessed. They are venerated as living ancestors and found a new noble house forever bearing their name.
And that's what Branca was.
Branca is a paragon, now and into death. She was born a smith, but her inventions caught the Assembly's eye. Before she had seen 20 years, she created a smokeless coal. It could burn in a cave without vents and no one would choke from it. It earned her paragon status.
How did the caste system come to be?
According to our legends, 7 brothers founded our empire. The youngest, Bloodlik, was the wisest and was chosen king. His children formed the noble caste. The eldest, Giachet, trained his sons to defend their king. They became the warrior caste. Shotgyar founded the artisans. Orzatyar forged our first swords. It was Orzammar who dug the mines that became our city's foundations. The twins Koapar and Noct both founded trading houses, but Noct was wounded in battle. On his recovery, he swore to serve his brother's sons.
What about the casteless?
The casteless descend from criminals and those repudiated by their own families, or who chose to go to the surface and live by human laws. They have no ancestors to guide them and no families to claim them. They should not have been born. Their parents defied their shame and brought cursed children into the world. It's better they die young.
Wow, that's, how, wonderful of you. It seems easy for you to dismiss them.
Their births are not recorded in the memories. In Orzammar, they do not exist. Is there something more pleasant you wish to discuss?
Reminds me of, the Untouchables that they had in, I think it's in Chinese, culture, ancient culture, where the people like the street sweepers and garbage pickers and all that stuff. They had these like bells around their neck. I might be getting the culture mixed up. If so, I apologize. Tell me some of Orzammar's history.
We were a great empire once, outnumbering even humans and elves. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium, and our land stretched as far in the deep roads as theirs did above. Kal Sharok was capital then, but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory. Now the Empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
What are the deep roads?
They were once our highways beneath the mountains. Now the darkspawn claim them and few venture there, except your order, who enter the deep roads when they retire, so they can die slaughtering as many darkspawn as possible.
How did you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caradon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth 12 dwarves in battle, but Caradon's Tig is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
golems like this?
Yes. We have only a few dozen left in Orzammar, and I do not recognize this one. Where did you find it? Every golem is precious to us. We'd pay a good sum for a new find.
I'd sooner jump into a pit of lava.
Unfortunate. Was there anything else? I must tell the rest of the Shaperate about this discovery.
Where is Kal Shirak?
At the other side of the old empire. During the last blight, the kings of Orzammar knew they couldn't hold everything. They sealed the deep roads, abandoning everyone still trapped in far-flung settlements. It was the only way to survive. Kal Shirak is the only other city to outlast the blight. We only rediscovered them recently, and they still haven't forgiven us.
Enough history. Let's talk about basic Orzammar.
I will settle your mind if I can, Warden.
Let's go back to my first question.
Please, speak your mind.
And I'm sorry to disturb you.
Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Right, so these guys record everything, essentially. Unless you're castless. And if you're castless, they don't care. Nice people. Alright, so lots of books to read. But I'm not going to read all these things because there's so much. And all this stuff is fairly interesting. And I encourage you to track it down online if you can and read it for yourself.
Yes.
Hell, I suggest you play the game for yourself if you haven't.
Going.
Because it's pretty awesome. Oh, she just went and unlocked that. Gloves of Diligence. Oh, that goes with the Armor of Diligence. Search for a true prophet. That is a gift. For win. So huzzah. Yay. Wow, 2 level ups from reading books. And that looks like that's all. Oh, there's another book. There's actually lots of books all of a sudden. I didn't see these before. I should gain a level 2, I think. Pretty close. Legion of Steel. Alright, very close to a level. Okay. So that was the Shaperate. And over here, this is the Chamber of Assembly. I don't think I'm allowed in yet. Oh, I am. Never mind. I'm just not allowed into the inner chambers, that's all.
Warden, welcome. It is always a blessing for Orzammar to host your order. I am Vartag Gavorn, top advisor to our good Prince Balin. What news do you bring?
I need aid against the Blight.
Yes, the treaty. I've seen it in the Shaper's libraries. Now the difficulty is that the treaty only compels our king, and we are sadly lacking one of those right now.
It's always something. Is there some way I could help?
My prince is the rightful king, but a disappointing number of lords back the upstart Harriman for the throne. If you show your support for Prince Balin, he might be able to assist with your requests.
What do I need to do?
Harriman promised the same portion of his estate to 2 different Deshirs, Lady Dace and Lord Helmi. Harriman can't possibly grant it to both of them, but they won't find out until after the vote is cast. I have copies of the promissory notes Harriman gave each of them. Once they see those, they should both reconsider their votes.
Where did you get the promissory notes?
That's not important. If they ask, say you found them while searching the Shaper's libraries for your treaty.
Isn't there someone you could report him to?
Normally, the Shapers would handle this sort of accusation. They are the scholars who manage our laws, histories, and genealogies. They are the final arbiters of all disputes in Orzammar. Unfortunately, the Shaper of Memories is the most important among them, and his grandfather was Lord Harriman's aunt's first cousin. Obviously, we cannot expect him to offer an unbiased opinion.
Wow, these guys, the twisted web. He'd hold a distant relative over his duty?
I guess I can't expect you surfacers to understand the importance of family in Orzammar. The Shaper is biased, and if you want Prince Balin's help, you'll have to show where your loyalties lie. Will you do it?
I don't want to get involved in this.
Very well. But do not expect my prince to see you as anything more than another ignorant surfacer. I will be here if you change your mind.
Interesting.
The assembly is in session. Enter quietly if you wish to observe.
Your mind has gone to dust if you think we would pass such a writ. Half our houses would go broke without the surface trade.
The proposal is only effective until we have a king to ensure we are respected by the surfacers.
Leaving you conveniently positioned to take over all contracts. I'll see your head on a pike first.
Deshers, lords and ladies of the assembly. I've already doubled the guard to prevent violence. Must I summon more?
Steward Bangalore, Balin's sympathizers are tying our hands with trivialities. They may as well open us to the sky.
I suggest we put the matter to a vote.
And I suggest you have a taste of my family's mace.
Enough! The assembly is in recess until the members can regain control of their emotions.
It's like it's like Congress or Parliament or something.
Stone-forsaken fools and dusters. I'm sorry. This is the assembly of the clans. Only Deshers and occasional guests of state are allowed in.
You don't recognize the Grey Warden?
Forgive me. I am so exhausted. I completely forgot about the message from the gate guard. Welcome to Orzammar, Warden. I hope you can forgive our unrest. The loss of our king has hit us hard. Respect for your role is great, but you won't receive a proper hearing until we have a king on the throne.
Is there any way I can break this stalemate?
I must admit, Warden, I am at a loss myself. It lies with Prince Balin or Lord Harrowmont, and they are slow to trust anyone in these uncertain times. Dulin Verender, Harrowmont's man, can be found at the Harrowmont estate. Vartag Gavorn, Prince Balin's second, is often here in the assembly. I only wish there was more I could do for you.
Okay. So, yeah, we're going to need to... It sounds like we're going to need to back one of these guys. And I'm not sure I have enough information to make a decision yet. What do you want?
I heard there was a Grey Warden here. I am Dulin Verender, second to Lord Harrowmont, King Endrin's own choice as successor. Word is spreading that the surface may suffer a blight. It is shameful we are not in a better position to help.
I would like to speak with Lord Harrowmont.
In an ordinary time, Lord Harrowmont would be honored to meet you. Unfortunately, we've already caught more than one of Balin's spies approaching Harrowmont under a pretense of friendship. So I'm afraid I won't be able to take your word. If you want to speak to Harrowmont, you will need to prove he can trust you.
What do you want me to do? Denounce Balin publicly?
If you wish to show you have no loyalty to Balin, then work against him in Harrowmont's name. Balin is hosting a proving today, supposedly to honor his father's memory. The Deshers take it very seriously, and unfortunately, Balin found some way to blackmail or intimidate House Harrowmont's best fighters into stepping down.
Why would your assembly care who wins some tournament?
The proving is a contest of the best warriors in Orzammar. By fighting, they show who has the ancestors' favor. If you were to enter the proving as Lord Harrowmont's champion, it would prove your loyalty beyond a doubt. Balin would never work with anyone who humiliated him in that way. Harrowmont would have no fear of meeting with you then.
I'll enter the proving and see why the others withdrew.
Excellent. The arena is located off the Commons. Talk to the proving master and tell him you're entering Lord Harrowmont's roster. The key fighters we lost were Guidon and Baisel. You can look for them in the fighters' preparation chambers behind the ring. And be sure it's before the fights begin. After the first bout, no one may change the roster. If you need to find me again, I will wait in the Tapster's Tavern off the Commons. There is no better place to hear gossip. Perhaps even word of your victory.
Alright, so I've got two upstarts pulling at me from two separate directions, but I don't really have enough information yet about which one I want to back.
Lord Balin is the voice of change and defense. Lord Harrowmont is the voice of stagnation and ruin.
And I should trust you because you're yelling loud. Right, so one guy wants me...
Is Lord Balin considering a dissolution of the ancient clans? He refuses to comment in the assembly.
So it seems like Balin is more progressive in that he wants...
2 years tomorrow. By all the holy sodding ancestors, how can you people just ignore that?
Branca didn't go alone, Oghren. She took the whole house, everybody but you. So just get over to Tapster's and drown yourself already. You know as well as I do that's how this always ends.
You think I'm afraid of some cub warrior who's barely off the teat? Ha!
You lift a weapon or attack a single citizen in Orzammar, and you're stripped of your caste and exiled. Even you can't have forgotten that. Get out of here before I call a guardsman. Can you believe it? Oghren's barely even warrior caste anymore, and he just clomps in here like he's entitled.
Who are you?
I'm Loylanar Ivo, warrior, which is more than I can say for that useless sod.
Who was he?
Oghren's a drunken wretch. He comes up here 2-3 times a week, hounding people to lead some suicidal rescue mission after Branca. Gets quite violent about it. I'd be scared if they hadn't practically gelded him after he killed young Lord Mino.
What happened?
All Mino's son said was how unlikely it was that a bunch of smiths would return safely from the deep roads. Which is true. Ancestors preserve us. That's what the warrior caste is for. But Oghren claimed it was an insult to a paragon. Next thing, they're in a duel to first blood to defend Branca's honor. Then Oghren starts screaming and runs him through.
Oops.
It was a huge scandal. Oghren should have been executed, but he'd won honors in the deep roads. Instead, they stripped him of all weapons and forbid him from engaging in fights within city limits. If he breaks the decree, he'll be exiled.
Why does Oghren care so much about Branca?
She's still his wife, isn't she? Even if she took their entire house into the deep roads and abandoned him.
Branca was married to that drunk?
Well, before she was a paragon, she was just a smith. And Oghren was one of the best warriors of his generation.
Why did Branca go into the deep roads?
Chasing some old treasure. She was quite secretive. Outright rude, really. She said she never asked to found a house, that she didn't care about politics, and that we were too self-absorbed to defeat the Darkspawn. She actually threatened anyone who said they'd come after her.
How did she become a paragon?
She invented a smokeless fuel that let the Smith caste increase their output by nearly 1/3. Deaths from the Black Lung also dropped. The Assembly said she had the favor of the ancestors and declared her a paragon. They moved Branca, Oghren, and all their relatives to the noble caste and founded a new house in her name.
What were you and Oghren arguing about?
It's been 2 years since Branca left. No one has ever stayed in the deep roads that long and survived. The search teams who went out found nothing, but Oghren wants to keep risking lives searching.
I should leave before you start complaining about me, too.
If you see any guardsmen, tell them Oghren was at it again.
Alright. So, now Oghren wants to go after Branca. So everybody wants to go after Branca. Which probably means I'm going to have to go after Branca. Level up! Okay, let's do that real quick. I need more strength. More dexterity. And let's see, I'm maxed out on weapon and shield. I am also going to want... I think I should start getting Champion maxed out. Okay, and then we also had Liliana. Level her up as well. She actually needs a bit of strength to equip certain things. And I think her dexterity is probably high enough, so let's get her with some strength. Oh yeah, and I also took a Ranger with her, so which allows her to summon various animals to help her out, which is kind of fun. It's like a sustained ability that you use. So you summon a wolf, a bear, or a spider. Ranger could be more powerful combat than normal counterparts. It's just doesn't say what it does. Oh, animals summoned. Oh, okay. This means animals are stronger. But I think we'll get the wolf. Why not? Wolf is fun. She has a lot of sustained abilities already, though, so I don't know how much I'll use it. Yeah, she already has 2 that she has active all the time. How much does that take out? Summon the wolf. Yay, Wolfie! But yeah, look how much that brings her stamina down too. She's 135 in reserve. That's quite a bit. And the wolf is good, but he's not that good. He's not like dog, that's for sure. Speaking of dog, level up. Dog needs more strength, I think. And shred. Dog lunges at an opponent and tears at it with powerful jaws. That attack hits, an automatic critical hit. If the target can bleed, it takes additional damage for a short time. Yay. Okay, so that is that. Alright, and this goes down to the commons. That's where we came out, right? Okay, so it seems like Balin is trying to fix the proving, and he also wants me to, or Harriman is promising things he can't deliver. So I guess neither of them are right. I just don't want to lock myself out of potential storylines, because I'm not really sure which one goes where. But I'll take both of these quests, and we'll work them out. Pretty sure I'm allowed to at least meet with them before I decide if I want to help them or not. Where is this? Oh, this is the palace. Right. I haven't been in here yet. Oh, whoa. Some kind of pressure plate. Interesting. Oh, wait a minute. What the... What the hell? Shale, quick. To action. Apparently we're fighting. Alright, good opportunity to use mass paralysis. Wow, it only worked on a couple of them. Tunneling Thief. Alright, well let's get these guys under control. Yeah, get him, doggy. God, I love that dog. It's awesome. And there's still this one left over.
You forced our hand. It is too easy.
Yeah, don't forget, actually, put on telekinetic weapons as well.
Ancestors. Good on you, Warden. You caught them in the act. I guess desperate times drive people to strange things.
Yeah, like tunneling into the freaking palace. Where did they even come from? Oh, they came from... they tunneled from above. Like a bank heist or something in a cartoon show. Oh, I was looking in here, but I didn't see anything. Nope. Okay.
Going.
And I see a chest. Liliana, if you would. A love letter. Yay. Door. Where's this go? So that's a loot in here. I like loot. Silverite dagger. Sell
Yes.
that crap. Short bow. Sell that. If I remember correctly, getting the dwarves to help you was actually quite a long, convoluted process. This is the throne of Orzammar. Caged in stone. And that is another switch. Are there any more of those switches? What do they do? What do they do? And this is the Royal Guard.
The Prince values your support, Warden.
I haven't
No one
supported him
enters
yet.
the Prince's estate without an invitation.
Don't you know who I am, people? Let's try this. Okay, Liliana, you stand here. Hold your position. Let's see. Dog. Now, is that 2 switches? I'm not sure. Let's get Morgan on the other one, I suppose. Okay. And Shale. Oh. Right. That was that other one. Guessing it has something to do with this throne. Can't really remember. Oh boy. Oh, that's a dragon. You guys know you have a dragon in your house? Okay. Think we can get off these plates now. Let's see if I can put it in a crushing prison. I can, but not very well. Let's try a paralyze.
Wipe them out.
Paralyze works. Put a vulnerability hex on it.
Begin the onslaught.
And rule number 1 with dragons, don't stand in front or behind them. Oh, stunned. That's probably too close with Morgan. I should probably back up. Alright. Taken care of. Ooh. Ageless. Wow, that's a nice sword. Increases hostility and intimidation, but that's a great sword. And what does intimidation mean? Well, either way, that is a win. Okay, everyone can stop holding their position, as well as you, Shale. Huh, that was interesting. So, I think that is all I can do in the Royal Palace. You really didn't know that you had a dragon in your house? Or did you, and did I just kill your pet? If so, I deeply apologize. I just wanted to pet it. Alright. So, that's right. I wanted to go find the assembly real quick and go take that other quest. I don't know which one I'm going to do.
I hope you're not wasting my time with more dithering. The choice I gave you was clear. If you want Balin to support you in your surface war, you'll have to help him take the throne.
I'll do whatever I need to do.
Excellent. I have the promissory notes right here. Just take them to Lady Dace and Lord Helmy, and show them Harrowmont is not as honest as he claims. Lady Dace doesn't leave the quarter much, but Lord Helmy's adventurous, likes to spend his time at tapsters in the Commons. Remember, don't tell them you got these papers from me. You learned of them and drew your own conclusions.
Doesn't sound shady in the least. Let's, speaking of the Shaperate, let's go check and see if, the Shaper has anything to say about these papers.
Ah, you return, Warden. Is there more you would know from Orzammar's memories?
Could you look at these promissory papers for me?
These are Harrowmont lands promised here. But these are not the deals we approved at the Shaperate. Where did you get these?
I could lie and say in Lord Harrowmont's personal library. That's not important.
Whom are you protecting? It is a crime against the Shaperate to falsify legal documents.
The papers are forged?
Not entirely. There were 2 promised deals, but their terms differed significantly from what is presented here. It appears the scripter altered the dates and locations of the agreements to make them identical.
Can you tell me anything about Prince Balin?
The prince consulted me before his father died. He wanted to know about King Bimo, the last king to rule during a blight. I told him Bimo made many changes during his rule. The assembly was even disbanded for a 2-year period. Bimo declared that, in times of war, the warrior caste answered directly to the king, and all voting was suspended. Balin seemed quite interested.
Is it true you're related to Harrowmont?
He is a kinsman, yes. If you count to the 6th degree of remove, I'm related to every noble lineage still represented in Orzammar. I can even trace my descendant directly to House Sigmund, which lost its tie to the Darkspawn 13 generations ago.
Do you get a vote on the next king?
The Shaperate do not vote. We simply record history as it happens.
But you have a preference for king.
I cannot speak my opinions. History can be changed with a careless word.
What do you know about Vartag Gavorn?
The Gavorn family is a minor one, founded when a daughter of the Ferender house married down to a warrior caste man. Her brother died, leaving her family heirless. So the assembly granted him a new family name and allowed him to adopt his daughter's children as heirs. Vartag Gavorn is on record asking the assembly to bar Harrowmont from King Endrin's sick room. He is a vocal supporter of Prince Balin.
Thank you. I need to have a word with someone.
You are an outsider, Warden, but not outside the law. I hope you will not do anything to challenge the stability of Orzammar.
Okay. So, yeah, Vartag Gavorn was trying to one-up me by having me pass along false documents, which I do not appreciate. And it seems that Vartag, without King Balin's support, would probably be caseless by now. So, it seems that Balin is more in favor of equality between castes, or at least not holding to the traditional views for every occasion. But he also seems to be kind of an underhanded tyrant at the same time.
Well, have you found Lady Dace and Lord Helmy?
I talked to the Shaper of Memories. These papers are forged.
Forged? Well, naturally they're forged. There is no legal way for Harrowmont to sell the same land twice over, is there?
Tell me where you really got these.
You want to know how the game is played? I wrote the papers and left a sizable fee with the registry office to back them.
But if you think figuring it out gets you off the line, you don't understand how this works.
I'm asking for a show of loyalty, so exactly how much truth is involved shouldn't matter in the slightest. Now, where does your allegiance lie, Warden?
I serve only myself.
If you cannot support my prince, do not expect him to serve you. If you change your mind, you know what you must do to earn his indulgence.
The problems of knowing too much and asking too many questions. Well, let's go investigate this, the Balin fixing the proving. So far, this Balin guy doesn't seem like a nice gentleman.
Raise your voice in favor of Lord Balin. He will bring us change.
That's Lady Dace.
Lord Balin suspected of personally defacing statues of the Paragons. Shocking allegations abound.
And the and Harriman seems to be really focused on the old ways, but the old ways leave the caseless with no recourse. And some of their laws, while this is really difficult. I feel like I don't have all the information either. So choosing, I knew I need to back one for the sake of the Darkspawn, but I don't want to just pick one at random. My decisions matter. Let's head over to the proving and see what we can do there. Hey, another nug.
So I see you are quite the little deceiver after all.
Finally decided to gloat, have you?
It simply suits my view of the Chantry that one of their devoted sisters should turn out to be so full of hypocrisy.
There are good people in the Chantry. Many good people who are just there to help others.
And apparently at least a few who are simply pretending to be good.
At least I was trying to be better than I was. At least I regretted the evil I'd done. Better that than be someone who's never loved anyone or anything, least of all herself. Anything but that.
It seems at least you got the self-righteousness down pat. Well done.
Girls, calm down. There's plenty of me to go around. Oh boy. I'm going to hell for that one. Proving. Huh. I don't want to enter the proving just yet, but I do want to figure out where I stand with these Balin and Harriman clowns. Okay. Proving fan. Let's talk to the proving fan.
Ah, the highlight of underground existence, I take it.
Indeed.
Can you believe how many families are supporting Balin?
Yeah, Balin kind of, if I was an underclassman, I'd be all up on Balin. Because, I mean, you have no recourse.
Watch for Piotr Naidukin. He's won the squad combat 4 years running. He has 11 decapitations so far. He needs just 3 more for the one-season record.
I guess you've watched a lot of provings, then.
Front row seats at every grand proving since my father took me on his shoulders. Name's Varric. I got a controlling interest in a mine off the old Roostin Tig. But my backers know not to hand me a pick any day there's blood on the stone, if you know what I mean.
What are the rules?
They change from round to round. Sometimes it's bare hands, sometimes weapons, sometimes pairs or squads. It's announced when the fight begins. That's about all the warning anyone gets.
Have you ever fought in one?
Me? Are you out of your mind? I'm a miner, not a warrior.
So the proving's just a tournament?
Sure. Like King Endrin was just a noble. A proving is a sacred art. Any dispute brought to the proving ground is settled by the ancestors' decision, and no one can protest it.
Isn't that nice? Now, if you'll excuse me.
I'm telling you, Piotr will take the prize. You can put gold on it.
is Basil. And more wall carvings. Proving Master.
The proving will begin shortly. I'm sure you can find a place in the stands. Or were you here to take part in the fight?
I haven't... I'd like to hear more about who's fighting.
Well, with politics what they are, many combatants are dedicating their fights to either Prince Balin or Lord Heremont. Mostly Balin. It's a regular parade of past winners out there. Piotr Naidukan always leads a battle unit. He's the prince's cousin. Miaja and Lukejan are twins from the warrior caste. They fight together, put on a good show. They'll all be in their chambers if you want to talk.
Sounds interesting, but I'm not sure. I'll come back later.
Don't wait too long. The proving will begin as soon as everyone's ready.
Okay, Basil? What's up?
Look, I already told the Proving Master I withdrew. Do you have to keep harassing me?
What are you talking about?
Well, that sounded genuine. If you weren't looking for me, do me a favor and pretend I never said anything.
Did someone make sure you drop out of the Proving?
I left the Proving on my own business, and I have no intention of discussing it.
If you tell me what's happening, I could help you.
Look, it's just, when I was younger, I had a thing with this Idukan girl, Revelka. Lesser cousin, nowhere near the throne. Her family wanted her marrying up, so they matched her with a BMO. But we didn't exactly stop seeing each other.
So you're afraid your affair will be exposed?
She's married to a prominent Desher's heir. We should have stopped a long time ago, but I love her. Do you know what that's like? Now Balin found out, and I can't even help my cousin for fear he'll tell her husband.
What evidence does Balin have?
They have letters. Love letters Revelka wrote me. If they were made public, she'd be disgraced. Her husband would cast her aside, and I would be lucky to be allowed to die in a duel.
Did Balin threaten you himself?
No. One of his fighters, a woman named Miaja, she's the one who threatened to expose me.
Would you fight again if the secret was safe?
There's no way to guarantee that. I appreciate the thought, but they really have me over a shaft here.
I can get those letters back.
You'd do that? I don't know how to thank you. I know it's my own fault, but I'd have married her if I could. If you can make sure that evidence doesn't get out, I'd be happy to fight in the Proving. But you need to find them quickly. Registrations close once the first bout starts.
Bully. Okay, still, okay, so this Balin guy clearly is not good. But he's also, so he's corrupt as hell, but he's also corrupt as hell trying to change a system he doesn't agree with. He's also trying to grab power. And this Heremont guy is following the laws for the most part, trying to keep the status quo, but the status quo is unfair. So that's difficult. Which one do I want to choose? Which one is better for Ferelden? That's a good question. I mean, it doesn't benefit Ferelden to have the dwarves hiding under their mountain, not helping us. I mean, the Heremont's clan wants to break off contact with the surface and stop trade, and Balin's clan wants to expand it, which in the long run would probably help the Dwarven Empire. I mean, we've already seen they have trouble holding Orzammar. Orzammar is really the only city they have left. The rest of the old deep roads and taigs have been taken over by Darkspawn. So if they had backing from, say, Ferelden's army, maybe, they could get some of their old taigs back. So that would be good for them. But then, if I'm going to back Balin, that means I'm going to be doing some shady things. I tell you what, that is a difficult choice. Do I sacrifice my own sense of ethics to foster a change that I believe in, or do I hold true to my own beliefs, but at the expense of others? That is tough. That is tough. Ultimately, I feel like the clincher is I have to do what's best for Eldon, and I have to do what's best. I need to make sure that the blight can be taken care of. Probably either one of those two guys taking the throne would help me against the blight. I have no doubt about that. And the Grey Wardens are revered down here, so I'm pretty sure that if I hold up my end, I'll be reciprocated. But which one would be better for Eldon in the long run? Alright, we'll think on that some more. And next time, we'll pick up and we'll finish out some of these quests and see if we can't make a final decision as to who we're going to back. Until then.